Welcome to today's episode. Many people study English for years, yet feel stuck, seeing little progress. Lara, as a certified English teacher, what do you see as a key reason behind this common frustration?
That's such a relevant question. The main issue is the widespread belief that memorizing a few rules and vocabulary words, then jumping straight into conversation, is enough for fluency. This quick-fix mentality is reinforced by many teachers, but it overlooks essential foundational skills.
It sounds like students and even instructors are skipping necessary stages. Is there an analogy that can help us understand why this approach backfires?
Absolutely. Imagine learning to play guitar. If an instructor just shows you a couple of chords and expects you to improvise a song immediately, the result would likely be unstructured and discouraging. Language learning, like music, requires incremental skill building before improvisation.
That analogy really highlights the pitfalls of hasty practice. As we transition, I'm curious, what does the most effective learning process look like for mastering an instrument, and how can we apply that to language learning?
Great segue. The most effective method for learning an instrument starts with picking a reference song you listen to repeatedly to internalize its sound. Next, you analyze it, identifying individual notes or chords, and practice them in isolation until they become second nature.
So it's about building muscle memory first. Could you explain the importance of this muscle memory in both music and language, perhaps with a real-world example?
Certainly. In music, muscle memory lets you play sequences fluidly, freeing your mind to focus on expression. Similarly, in language, repeated practice of phrases and sentence structures helps you speak spontaneously without overthinking grammar or vocabulary.
That's fascinating. Does research support this approach?
Yes, a 2018 study from MIT found that students who practiced language chunks rather than isolated words developed faster conversational fluency. This mirrors how professional musicians rehearse entire sections, not just single notes, to prepare for performances.
Now, let's address a common trap. Many learners try to speak English off the cuff from the very first lessons, similar to trying to compose music with barely any training. What pitfalls does this create?
Jumping into improvisation too soon leads to what's called broken English. Learners make frequent errors, invent words, or translate directly from their native language, resulting in unnatural and sometimes incomprehensible speech. It's like playing random notes instead of a melody.
That can be quite demotivating. Are there cognitive reasons why skipping foundational steps causes these problems?
Absolutely. Without enough exposure and practice with authentic language, the brain can't form the automatic connections needed for fluent speech. Pauses, hesitations, and frequent mistakes are the result, much like a beginner guitarist stumbling through chord changes.
Given these challenges, how can learners balance the desire to speak early with the need for solid groundwork?
The key is structured repetition. Start with reference dialogues from books or media and break them down into manageable chunks. Practice these repeatedly, then simulate real conversations using the same vocabulary and structures. This gradual layering builds both confidence and fluency.
That sounds systematic. Can you share any supporting evidence or personal experience that underscores the effectiveness of this strategy?
Certainly. In my own journey, I began with scripted dialogues, then progressed to TV shows and movies. By mimicking these sources and practicing mock conversations, I eventually reached the point where improvising felt natural just as a musician becomes comfortable with solos after mastering the basics.
Are there studies or statistics that back up this practice-based approach in language learning?
Yes, research from Cambridge University shows that learners who engage in repeated, meaningful practice, especially with real-life materials, achieve higher fluency and retention rates than those who focus solely on grammar drills. The process may require patience, but the long-term payoff is substantial.
That's encouraging for our listeners. As we wrap up, it's clear that steady, structured practice is the surest path to fluency, much like mastering an instrument. Thank you, Lara, for these valuable insights.